everybody, I'm Tommy and welcome to my puppet lab. In this tutorial I'm going to show you how to make a Charizard. Everything you need to know in just 25 minutes. Enjoy the tutorial. For this tutorial I will be using a puppet base. If you do not have a puppet base, click the link in the description below to watch a complete tutorial on how to build a puppet base. I am using the same base that I made in the tutorial to make Charizard. Alright, this is going to be a Charizard head. Okay, so start by rolling a large sausage shape and flatten it and scrunch it onto the bottom of the base. This will be Charizard's muzzle. Add more newspaper on top if the muzzle isn't thick enough. Add more newspaper to the end if it is not long enough. Now cover it up in toilet paper and using a 1 part glue and 1 part water solution, let the toilet paper soak it up and let dry overnight and it will be nice and firm. To make the horns, roll the newspaper into 2 sausages and then attach to the back of the head. Then add a thick vertical strip of newspaper that connects the muzzle to the forehead and make sure it is dead center as possible. Now add 2 sausage shapes just underneath the horns at the back of the head. And now we have enough surface area to start carving in the details. Now roll 2 strips of newspaper sausages and attach 1 to each side of the forehead. Make sure it is fairly lined up with the horns. Large pits can be covered with sheets of newspaper before putting on toilet paper. This will make it look smoother and less obvious. And now cut the bottom of the head in half, and this will be used as the bottom jaw of the puppet. Just make sure that you are not cutting towards yourself or any part of your body. Now remove the bottom and congratulations, you have just created the bottom jaw. Now cover the bottom jaw with toilet paper and glue. Take the bottom jaw and cut from 1/2 inch from the edge all around, and we're going to make a very deep pit so that we can make room for the tongue. As you can see, I used the cutout to trace around a sheet of cardboard. This cardboard is going to make the pit look nice and flat. And now, roll a newspaper into a large icicle. This will be the tongue. And use masking tape to hold everything in place. Now make the tongue nice and wet and cover it up in toilet paper. And now cut a line right in the middle of the tongue all the way through. This will make the tongue look much more realistic. Now, crumple newspaper and tape it up into 2 small tiny icicles. We will be using this for the teeth. You'll also need another 2 for the bottom jaw. Try your best to make sure that the teeth are all the same size. Attach the first 2 set of teeth just below Charizard's muzzle. And now crumple some newspaper and attach it to the bottom jaw. This will be Charizard's chin. Attach the remaining 2 teeth to the bottom jaw. Now take the tongue and place it in the center of the bottom jaw. Glue it into place and make sure the tongue is nice and secure. And now with the Sharpie, draw where you want to cut Charizard's nostrils. When you're happy with the placement of the nostrils, cut them out. And now cut a deep depression in the bottom of the head. We need to make room for the bottom teeth and the tongue, so the jaw and the head can close all the way. And now just between the teeth, I'm going to add a little bit of a peak. This will make Charizard look more like a dragon. With a Sharpie, draw where you want to cut Charizard's eyes out. When you're happy with the placement, cut them out. We will be using styrofoam balls for the eyes. Use them to make sure that your placement is accurate and aligned properly. Push some newspaper into the eye sockets with a styrofoam ball and leave the styrofoam ball in place. Trim all the excess newspaper and you will have a nice eye cup. This will keep the eyeball in place and allow you to adjust the eyes. And now I re-added the hump to the back of the head like we did in the base tutorial. This will allow us to attach the head to the body. And there, my friends, we have a Charizard head. So the eyes you should be able to remove the eyes whenever you want. Which the head should look like. The eyes should be able to come in and out at your own whenever you want so that you can adjust them. Just open up the mouth. There you go. So I'm pretty happy with this Charizard head. So now that the head is done, let's start building the body. Now for this tutorial, I will be making Charizard using a base. You can click on the link in the description below on learning on how to make your very own puppet base. From the top, going from the bottom or the bottom going from the top, you want to cut the sides off of the base puppet. This will be Charizard's long neck. Now cover those sides up with newspaper. Keep the newspaper tight, as this is going to make the neck solid. Then cover the neck with glue and tissue paper afterwards. Knock off any rough or bumpy edges so that the neck flows naturally with Charizard's belly. Now start crumbling and stuffing in between the gaps of the legs to form the belly. Keep crumbling and taping newspaper on until you are satisfied with the size of the belly. When you're happy with the belly, cover it up in toilet paper and glue. Now draw the wings on a large sheet of cardboard and cut it out. Cut out the wing and trace over it on another sheet of cardboard so that they both look exactly the same. It's a good idea to attach the wings to see if you are happy with how it looks. They can always be adjusted later. Add long strips of newspaper on top and over the wings so that the top of the wings appear bony. Now because this Pokemon has a wide stance, the feet need to be spaced out a bit. Cut the legs and space them out so that they have a wider stance, and then cover it up in toilet paper and glue. And now, just where the wings meet, cut the holes on the sides so that you can slide in the pipe insulation tube so you can connect the arms. And for the arm pieces, I am going to cut them right in half and then reconnect them since Charizard has skinny arms. Connecting a piece of wide cardboard to the legs and to the belly can help make Charizard's stance more solid. I recommend doing this as it makes it more sturdier. When the feet has been spaced out, you'll have more room to crumple newspaper so you can make an even larger belly. Charizard has a huge belly and a long neck. And now it is time to attach the arm pieces to the pipe insulation tube. Connect them the exact same way as you had connected them when you made the base puppet. And now it is time to finish fluffing up Charizard's belly. It is important to give Charizard a nice, round, fluffy belly. If the belly appears a little too flat, that's nothing a little newspaper cannot fix. And now crumble some enormous newspaper ball and attach them to the side of the legs. This will make Charizard's legs look a lot mightier and gives it more depth. These will be his thighs. And now I'm going to cut the cardboard on the feet so that they are pointy. This is where I'm going to be fixing and making the claws on the feet. We will be getting back to the feet a little bit later. And now for Charizard's mighty tail, start by crumbling newspaper balls and start where you want the tail to be attached and keep stacking them downwards until they touch the floor. The tail is also going to be supporting the puppet so that it stands on its own very well. It's a good idea to have objects prop the tail up while it's drying. And now I'm going to be taking a sheet of newspaper and connecting it with the tail and the back so that it has a natural flow with the body. Using a long newspaper strip, attach the long strip that connects the points going up and down on the wing. Looks pretty good there, so now let's just put some tissue and glue on top. You can attach the two wings together by putting the ends together and putting a strip of cardboard over on top and gluing it on. This will make it so that the wing can actually flap. I'm using screws to reattach these wings. It'll be easier to take it off and on just in case. Now I'm going to make Charizard's feet bigger and mightier by wrapping newspaper around it. Then I'm going to cover it up, and then when it's dry, I'll carve it. And now crumble 6 tiny icicles and attach them to the feet. We will be using these for the claws. Put 3 claws in each foot. At the bottom, where the legs connect to the feet, wrap newspaper around it to make the feet look more realistic and natural. And now with the base hands, we will be attaching 4 claws to each hand. Make the claws by crumbling tiny newspaper strips into the shape of a very small icicle. Tape them to the top of each fingertip. Now when the hands are finished drying, cut off any excess tubing from the arms. Then, glue with a hot glue gun the hands onto each arm. Now I'm going to smooth out the tail. And now I'm going to do some more work on the claws. Make sure Charizard's claws are slightly curved, and make them nice and thick. And now, sharpen the claws using a knife. You can curve the claws by taping them down. You can also wrap the tape around the claws to give it a nice curved look. To make the cuticles, glue on tiny newspaper sausages where the claws connect to the feet. Now, I'm going to wrap some cardboard around the tapered neck to make Charizard's neck even longer. This will give him a good boost in height and give him a more dragon-like appearance. Glue on some thick cardboard strips onto the wings to give it some additional support. This will help stop the wings from falling limp and will allow it to move more freely. If the wings are not big enough, it is not too late to make it bigger. Just simply add 2 exactly identical attachments to the wing. glue them on and make sure they are completely covered in toilet paper paste. You can use tissue paper or something different, but I like to use toilet paper because it's cheap and effective. I made Charizard's neck longer, so the wings also need to be bigger now. And now, for the tail flame, loosely crumble some newspaper and cover it up with paper mache. Just one layer is needed for the time being. Then, glue it onto the tip of the tail. And that's it, my friends. All there is left to do is to detail the fire, and then we can start painting this. And now I'm not going to do much talking during the painting, so just sit back, enjoy the music, and watch Charizard come to life. Well, there you have it. You now know how to make a Charizard. Well, I hope you enjoyed that video. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next time. Bye. I hope you enjoyed the show. Now go make yourself a puppet friend.